Hi everybody, it's Gemma. Welcome back to Pampered Wolf. Today I'm going to be trying out the viral TikTok sensation for flawless foundation application and therefore flawless skin. We're going to see if this really weird technique actually works. I am slightly nervous. Anyway, if you don't know what TikTok is, do not worry. You don't need to know what TikTok is for this video. The only reason I know what it is because my kids are really into TikTok at the moment and I'm having to vet everything that they put online just to be safe. So I have found myself watching quite a bit of TikTok recently. Anyway, this foundation application routine was shown to the world on TikTok by Jarida, who is a New York TikToker. I'm so not cool. Anyway, somebody that does TikTok who's in New York. But this is not a new thing. Wayne Goss did something really similar a few years ago. So this is definitely not a new sensation, but I've never tried anything like it before, even the one from Wayne Goss. So we're gonna try it out today. Before I do though, please make sure you have liked, you have subscribed, and you've hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. At present, I upload on Mondays and Thursdays at 8 PM London time, but at the end of April, that is going to change over to Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the same time. So please make sure you've clicked on that notification bell so you don't miss the changeover. I'm also on Instagram if you want to follow me on there. It's at Pampered Wolf, all lowercase, no spaces. Let's get on with this video. Okay, so this is a 5-step system, and although a lot of you will be thinking now, 5 steps just to put on foundation, this shouldn't take you any longer than your usual routine because this is just all the steps that you would usually do. It's just they're slightly jumbled up. In fact, I think this is going to be a complete disaster and I have no time to reapply my makeup after this video. So whatever the outcome, I am going to have to rock this look today. Anyway, the first step is your usual skincare. On TikTok, it just mentions moisturizer, but if you are a regular to my channel, you will know I am a stickler for a really good skincare routine. If you sort your skin health out, everything else will follow. So I have applied my usual serums from The Ordinary. I've also applied my Jung 2x Barrier Intensive Cream, which was in my faves and fails last month. Check that out if you want more information on this. And then the last step of any skincare routine should be your SPF. This is the 50+ La Roche-Posay Ultra Light Anthelios XL, and this is the non-perfumed version. There is a perfume version. Obviously, this one is going to be my preference. So I've done all those already because I've already done the school run and I don't go out of the house without my SPF. So I'm not going to do that step again, but that is step 1. So step 2 is translucent powder, and I am just going to be applying my Revolution Pro HydraMatte powder. This is a setting powder, but it's a translucent powder, and it says to apply the smallest amount. You don't want to apply too much, so I'm just knocking off all the excess. Sorry if there's just like a complete film of powder just gone across the screen. Sorry about that. Just going to dab that all over my skin, making sure it's covered, but not by too much. It does say don't apply too much. Okay, so I hope I've applied enough of the translucent powder, but not too much of the translucent powder for this. It does say on TikTok you can use all of your normal products, so you don't need to go out and buy anything specific. You don't need to have the products that I'm using today. You just use something similar. So it has to be your usual skincare routine, then any translucent powder, and then the third step is a setting spray. So the one that I'm going to be using today is the Urban Decay Chill Setting Spray. Again, you can use whatever setting spray that you have at home, and you just spritz that all over the skin, and then a bit of pretentious wafting, and wait for that to completely dry down before you move on to step 4. Okay, so my face is completely touch dry now after the setting spray. Step 4 is a primer. So your normal primer you would then apply at this stage. So I'm going to be using the Revolution Pore Blur Primer. This is a great primer, reminds me very much of the Benefit Professional, but so much more affordable. Just to rub that through my fingers and just pat that where I need it. And just apply that in the usual way. And the last step in this foundation routine is obviously foundation. Use your normal foundation. I'm going to use one that I know sits beautifully on my skin just so that I can test this technique out. The foundation that I'm going to be using today is the DIOR Forever Skin Glow. The only negative I can say about this foundation is that it has a scent to it. So if you are really sensitive to scents, this one's probably one to steer clear of, but I don't like that it has a scent. But it looks so beautiful on my skin that I tend to give it a pass. So I'm going to apply this using my usual method of brush and then going over it with a sponge. This is the brush Junkie foundation buffing brush. So I'm just going to pop that on in the usual way and then go over it with a sponge just to smooth everything over. That's what I would usually do anyway. Okay, so I can already tell that this has changed the finish of this foundation. Usually it's quite a luminous foundation and it's looking a little more matte. But, you know, I do have setting spray on my face already. And I also have a little bit of powder on my face already, so I guess that's to be expected. Okay, so the foundation is completed. I'm going to withhold my final thoughts until I've got all the rest of my products on. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm quite impressed with how the foundation applied to my skin and also how all the other products applied after I'd applied my foundation. The look is absolutely beautiful and it's definitely airbrushed everything out. However, this is not going to be a routine for absolutely everybody as there are certain drawbacks. So let me just zoom you in so you can have a really up close and personal look. Now I just want to make it clear that I did not use a sponge over the top of my foundation after applying it with a brush like I said I was going to. I didn't feel the need to do this as the brush application was very, very smooth and very flawless and really airbrushing. My foundation did dry down so much quicker than it would usually do with the powder and the setting spray underneath it rather than on top of it. This also changed the look of my foundation to a more natural matte finish rather than a really luminous glowy finish. So if you're wanting a really luminous glowy look, you might not be able to achieve it as much if you're using this technique. Also, if you are a little bit heavy-handed and like to apply a lot of foundation at once and then spread it around the face, you may get into a little bit of a cakey mess with this because the foundation does dry down so quickly. It doesn't give you very much time to get a flawless airbrushed finish, so that may be a little bit of an issue for you. I can definitely see how this routine is going to attract anybody with a more oily complexion because although this isn't going to increase the longevity of your foundation, especially if you already use a powder and a setting spray after you've applied your foundation, this definitely does feel like it grips the foundation. It doesn't feel like this foundation is going to go anywhere throughout the day, and it definitely does look flawless on my skin. However, if you have dry skin like me, if you have a look at my skin at the moment, this particular foundation, the Forever Skin Glow foundation, does not accentuate any of my dry patches at all usually. This at the moment is highlighting my drier areas, so I do have a little bit of a dry patch on my cheek, a little bit around my chin, and I just feel like the setting spray has made my skin feel a little bit tighter than normal, which I don't like that feeling because it feels quite drying. And also the powder underneath has really grabbed onto the foundation and sort of attached itself to my drier areas, so it's not as flattering on a dry skin as I would imagine it would be on an oily skin. So my final thoughts, yes, I think this foundation routine is great. I can definitely see how anybody under the age of 25 that goes on TikTok is really impressed with this. They've got perfect skin to begin with, but I just think once you add different things in there like fine lines and wrinkles and dry skin, This is just a little bit too much of a challenge for me, and I'm definitely going to revert back to my original foundation routine. The main reason being is that I don't use a setting spray on a daily basis. Most setting sprays have a very high concentration of alcohol in there, which can be very drying. So for somebody with a dry skin, something to avoid. If I use this, I like to use it with a barrier in between, and the barrier is my foundation. So applying the setting spray before foundation is allowing it to get deeper into the skin and just dry the skin out a little bit more. So this routine really isn't for me. I will continue to use a setting spray on the days that I really need my foundation to last. So if I'm going to a wedding, or maybe I'm working from morning all the way through to night, but I will apply it over my foundation, not underneath it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Please make sure you have liked, subscribed, and clicked on that notification bell. And also follow me on Instagram if you're not following me already. It's @PamperedWolf, all lowercase, no spaces. Hope to see you all in the next video. Bye.